do some sharing.
Yeah. We'll do some sharing.
All right, hello. All right, hello, you guys. Thank you for joining.
Hello, hello. We got people joining.
Okay, if you don't mind going ahead and sharing with your audience. That would be great. We're going to get started here in just a moment. Hello, Blanche. Hi, Blanche. If you can
Hello,
go ahead
Blanche.
and share with your audience, we're going to get started here in just a minute.
Hello, hello. We have quite a few people starting to join. Please go ahead and share. Hello, Darshita. Please go ahead and begin to share and inviting your friends to join us today. We're excited about today's broadcast because it's our very first episode. So continue to share and invite people to join, and we are doing the exact same thing right now. Well, welcome to our first broadcast of Faith, Family, and the Future with Dexter and Genette Howard. We want to combine our knowledge, our experience, and our passion to really help you to be able to navigate these challenging times in which we live, and hopefully to be able to usher you into a place of victory, because this is God's plan for your life and for your family. And so we're glad that you joined us today. We want you to please begin to invite and share this broadcast, this post with your friends. And so help us to get the word out about what we have to share with you today.
Right. So today our topic is a topic that we actually did a little research. I believe in just, before getting on here, because so many people are live now. There's so many broadcasts.
Yeah.
I really want to make sure that we're addressing questions that people really have, that we're addressing topics and issues that are really impacting people, and they're looking for answers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
people are looking for answers.
Yeah, people are looking for answers. And, the scriptures say, I talk about this scripture all the time because I believe it so powerfully. It says that God says, my people perish, or my people are destroyed. He did not say because of a lack of faith.
Right.
He said, my people are destroyed because of a lack of
knowledge.
Because of what they don't know.
That's right.
And often
knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
It really is.
Or understanding. Sometimes you can know something but not understand it.
Right.
You can you can know, we got our Bible out here because this is called Faith, Family, and the Future. So our foundation is faith. I got this Bible here, and I can read these words because I know how to read. But these words don't impact me at all if I can't understand them.
That's exactly right.
Or if I don't know how to apply them, or if there's no illumination of it in my life. I can't do anything.
That's exactly right.
I can memorize it all day long. It will not impact me until I understand it.
You hear me say this. I've said it quite often, and it didn't originate with me. But the Bible says, I believe it's John 8:32, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you or set you free. Well, I think we end right there a little bit too early, and we don't help give people an understanding, and we set them up for failure, for future failure. Right. Here's what I mean by that. They said, oh, I know the truth, and the truth shall make me free. It's not just reading words on a page that makes you free. It's the truth that you know.
Yep.
The truth that you have experience with.
Yep.
The truth that you have received revelation about.
Revelation,
How to
understanding.
apply, understanding.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what makes you free.
That's what makes you free. Absolutely.
And so that's where we're talking from a place of understanding today.
And nobody can steal from you what you understand.
That's right.
And so we're gonna. So I did a little research. In no way was it scientific research. It meant I asked a few people.
Right.
That's as deep as this research went.
Yeah.
I asked a few people, but I also spend time on social media.
Yeah.
Often when I spend time on social media, it's for a couple of reasons. One, to be purely entertained.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a lot of that going on.
There's a lot
right
of that
now.
going on. It's some funny stuff. It is funny, and I use it for comedic relief. All the crazy memes and stuff. It gives me a joke. I often share them on my personal page for my laugh of the day. But I also use it to get a gauge of what people are thinking, what people are feeling. As a pastor, as a teacher, as a humanitarian is what I like to think of myself as.
Yeah.
I really want to know what's hurting people.
Yeah.
So that I can, what are people really thinking? Where are people really living? So that we can be a real significant help to them and bring some understanding and be a significant help to them. So make a long story short, I did a little research and I asked people, I said, what really is bothering you right now in this season of this COVID pandemic, this crisis, tribulation season that we're in? Yeah. What questions do you really have that maybe nobody's answered for you yet? What's really bothering you? And this is what has come up over and over and over again. Especially of people of faith, Christians, okay? Say, you keep hearing preachers and pastors say, don't be afraid, or stay in faith. Yeah. But how do you do that?
Tell me how.
When I really do feel afraid. Or someone posted this way, and I loved it because I've often thought this myself. Is something wrong with my faith because I feel afraid?
Whoa.
If you have asked yourself that question, can you raise your hand and say, me too, Genette?
Yeah.
Me too, I've asked myself that. Is something wrong with my faith because I feel afraid?
Yeah.
If you've experienced that, or if you've asked yourself that question, maybe it's just me. I'll tell you the truth. I've asked myself that question. Because I'll tell the truth, I've had some feelings of fear since this has been going on.
I think if we would all be honest, we all have feelings, even macho men. This is not about machismo. This is not about what that's all about. What this crisis is all about. It's not about brawn. You see, a virus doesn't acknowledge brawn. A virus doesn't acknowledge big, huge muscles. I
see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
It has no respect for muscles.
I can look like the Incredible Hulk, and the virus will still take me out. So this is not about machismo and about courage necessarily. This is about something.
About courage.
Well, it is a little bit about courage.
We're going to talk about courage. This is a big part of it.
But this is really about an invisible enemy that we are trying to fight. We don't know how to fight because it is a novel virus. We've never seen it before. Doctors are confounded about it. No one has answers. And that's normally when the human psyche starts to be bothered a little bit, when we don't have answers.
Can I tell it?
Because we like to have answers.
Okay, so I admitted that I have felt afraid.
Yeah.
Since this has been going on. Some of y'all know my story and my struggle last year. I felt afraid a lot, okay? Because I've had I didn't have no little struggle. I had a huge struggle.
A huge struggle, yeah.
I had a huge struggle with anxiety last year that was induced by some sickness. Sorry, let me turn my phone calls off. Got my girlfriends calling me all while I'm live here. That's all good. And so I've had some feelings of fear. But you, my husband, Dexter Howard, it's something I admire about you, but I wonder, you never seem to be afraid.
One thing that I know about me, and we first of all, we are of little words. And so we don't necessarily just go around talking about how we feel. Now, I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying it is what it is.
Right.
And so we internalize quite a bit, and it's not necessarily good. But we internalize, and then sometimes you see that come out in a reaction that may be inordinate. Men, we have different ways of getting our anxiety expressed.
Wow. Okay.
It doesn't mean we don't have fears. It means that we are processing it differently.
Wow.
And so, yes, I have had some thoughts about, okay, what is this really? How impactful is this going to be on our family? I really wasn't internalizing it so much for Dexter. I was internalizing it because my daughter got to go to work every day and face the public every day. That's her job. Mm-hmm. I'm concerned about Alexa. I'm concerned about my wife. I'm concerned about the people that I have influence over as a leader, as a pastor. So I really have not, I'll be quite honest with you, I have not been fearful for myself.
Okay, you're not answering my question.
Okay, sure.
This is a direct communication, we call the culture. Pastor Dexter Howard, have you felt the emotion of fear?
Absolutely.
Since this has
Sure.
So you have felt.
Sure. Yeah.
So, but to me, he comes across like I don't. He doesn't act like he feels afraid at all. But I will tell you the truth that I have.
Now I don't go around focusing on getting the virus. I don't focus on that.
I mean, because you sleep real hard.
I'll be honest with y'all. It may not be good. I'm not bragging or anything like that. I'm not saying someone else needs to go around acting like me. That's just not my personality. It's just not my makeup. I don't let that kind of stuff bother me. It probably should, but it doesn't.
Okay, so it didn't bother you. I'm just telling y'all, I'm letting you guys in. This is nowhere in our script, okay? But we're being real here. I'm letting you in on Dexter Howard and Genette Howard, and we're different. And so I couldn't believe it. I get when he buys something, a movie download or whatever, I get the notification on my phone, because you got to pay for it or whatever. And I saw that somebody had paid for the movie Contagion. To myself, there is no way this man is watching Contagion right now. There is no way. Would you watch Contagion right now?
There are so many people on here who have watched Contagion.
But right now we're living it.
Listen.
Why would you feed yourself Contagion?
Let me tell you why. Specifically, I watched that movie the other night. My brother. All of you who know me, when I talk about my brother, I'm the only child, but there is a man on the face of this earth who I call my brother. He is like a blood brother to me. And so he texts me and he said something about the movie. I won't go into the details of the text, but he said something about the movie Contagion. He said, go check it out. So I watched it. I wanted to check it out. And everything he told me, I said, whoa. So I'm not going to get into the conversation because whatever.
I'm reading the comments. Sharonda, Toya, don't watch that stuff. And you be calling me, talking about, how do I deal with this?
Toya's like me. Toya has a personality like me.
Don't watch it. You don't need to watch it. But anyway.
Tyler said, and outbreak too.
Yeah. Anyways, hey, some people are wired differently. Okay, this might be part of the conversation.
I'm just wired differently, you all.
And you've got to know how you're wired. Okay, yeah, I'm like you, Patricia. I'm watching Tom and Jerry. I'm watching episodes of Good Times.
Hey, I'm not crazy, y'all. I'm not a fanatical. I watch Sanford and Son. I watch Good Times. I watch things to decompress.
You also will sit and watch CNN for hours on end. It just doesn't seem to bother him.
No.
But you got to know yourself. Okay, so the question is.
Oh, that's good. Say that again, because even though we're laughing, that was powerful.
You got to know yourself.
You just said.
Oh, totally.
You got to know yourself. And so we're helping people to navigate to a place of victory in these challenging times.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's absolutely important that you know yourself. That is going to be one of the ways that you're going to be able to overcome being overcome by a mindset of fear. And we're going to get into this a little bit more.
So the question was, is something wrong with my faith because I feel afraid?
And
I have admitted, I have felt afraid. I am a woman of faith, but I have felt afraid, to varying degrees since this has happened.
I would say my answer to that, my answer to that is no, there's not anything wrong with you.
Absolutely not.
There's not anything wrong with you if you felt the emotion of fear. I would think something is wrong with you if you haven't felt it. If you haven't felt a little uneasy, maybe a little uncertainty has set in about.
It's trying to settle in.
About what is our future going to look like? Is our world going to ever come back to normal? I happen to have settled and resolved in my heart that our world will never look the same again. Right. And that's maybe not even for the bad. But with that being said, there's nothing wrong with you because you experience the emotion of fear. So that's number one. Say that. Type that in the comment section. There's nothing wrong with me.
Because you experience the
emotion. I experienced the emotion of fear.
Of fear.
Absolutely.
Right. That's called being a human being.
It's called being a human being.
And I think the first thing we want to establish is that fear itself, the fear at its most elementary level is just an emotion.
Just an emotion.
It's
God,
an emotion
God gave us
like
the emotion
all of the
fear.
rest. And the emotion of fear is a God-given fear, and it actually was given by God, the emotion of fear. Now we're going to talk. We know we're going to
as
go
an asset.
It actually was given by God as a absolutely every emotion in some shape, form, or fashion.
If used correctly,
is given by God to serve us in some way.
Absolutely.
Right. The Bible even says, "Be angry, but don't sin."
But don't sin. Yeah.
So anger with the right outlet,
I know angry mothers that have been overcome with anger and emotion, seeing a garage door having fallen on their child. True story. I've heard this before. They took that heavy garage door and lifted it off their child.
It's called adrenaline. It gives you a rush of adrenaline.
Absolutely.
That gives you supernatural strength. That's very real. And so emotions, you guys, are driven by chemical messengers and hormones and all those kinds of things. And they are given, all of that is biological processes that God wired us a certain way. Let me speak to this for some of you who may be feeling an inordinate amount of fear right now. If you're a woman in particular, depending on what season of life you're in, it could very well be hormonally driven. I do want to tell you that as someone who has lived through that. And even before this started, you may have been having some hormonal imbalances and stuff going on, and your emotions were all over the place. This environment has just multiplied it. And so I'm trying to de-escalate some of this for you so you can understand, okay? Because understanding, enlightenment, just kind of chills you out a little bit.
Absolutely.
When you understand, okay?
Absolutely.
So the emotion of fear is totally, completely human, and we all are experiencing it to varying degrees. Okay? So if you
even though people don't look like it, like myself.
They don't look like it. My husband will probably be in his, I don't think it's even his machoism, it's just how he's wired. I think you got it from your mother, because your mother is not don't get scared.
No.
Oh, she just...
Unless she sees a snake.
Yeah, the only thing she's scared of is a snake. I mean, anyway. But he's got this bravery about him where he just doesn't...
It's just my makeup.
That's his makeup. I'm so appreciative of it. I'm probably somewhere in the middle.
Nah. Nah. No, you way the opposite.
That's when I had a problem.
No, you way the opposite. That's why God made me the way I am, because she's way the opposite.
Okay, all right. Anyway, I don't think I'm that scary.
Yeah, yes you are. Yes. Okay. Anyway, I'm not going to embarrass you, but okay. Sharonda, you know. So let's get into.
All right.
So let's really get into this tension between the emotion of fear and what we call, and what the Bible refers to as the spirit of fear.
It's the spirit of fear. Now, that's what you got to watch out for.
Yeah.
Now, I don't deal with the spirit of fear.
Yeah.
Now, will you say that about me?
No, absolutely not.
No, I don't tolerate the spirit of fear.
No.
It is intolerable in my life.
I have seen it try to sneak
Yeah.
its way into your life
Yeah.
when you start focusing too much on something that's not beneficial for you.
That's out of my control, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, the New King James Version says, "For God has not given us the spirit." Spirit is it's a mindset. When you say it's an attitude.
Spirit is several things that we want to talk about. When you see that word spirit, I want you to think about something that is alive.
Yeah.
That's what I want you to think about. When you see that word spirit, spirit is alive. And so, yes, it can be a mindset, but here's what you need to know about a mindset. A mindset, thoughts are alive.
It's alive, yeah.
Yeah. So thoughts are alive. They have energy. They can be measured. Thoughts are powerful things. Okay? So yes, spirit. First thing I want you to think about when you see, I'm trying to bring some illumination to you, so you can understand this thing. When you see the word spirit, it means alive.
Yeah.
And so the spirit of fear, that thing is alive. Okay? It can create, it seeks to create a mindset or thoughts. And thoughts are alive, y'all. Thoughts actually control your emotions. They control behaviors. They control all sorts of things. And that's exactly what the spirit of fear is seeking to do.
Thoughts are so alive. Some of your neurotherapy appointments that I've gone to with you, when the lady shows us a picture of the mind.
You just telling all of my secrets. Now you telling people I'm in neurotherapy.
You've shared your own secrets.
I have not told people I'm
You have no secrets.
I have not told them.
Listen, it has helped. It has
I've
been
had a hard year.
It's
y'all.
been
I'm telling you, 2019
very
was
beneficial.
very
But
hard.
listen, it's not for crazy people. Neurotherapy is to get your brain healthy,
Get my brain back healthy again. Yeah.
optimum again.
Yeah.
And so when she showed us a picture of some people's minds,
Their brains.
their brains,
Yeah.
that is not necessarily been thinking right. It literally, the roots literally begin to overtake the brain to a point to you wonder, how is anything good getting in there?
Yeah, neural pathways. What he's talking about is I did a scan of my brain and it showed the neural pathways, and your neural pathways can get all crossed and jacked up.
Yeah,
like a highway just going all which
or like tree roots.
Yeah. And so I had something like going on in my brain. Everybody does to a certain extent, but I actually saw what was happening in mine, and the neurotherapy has helped to straighten out some of those things.
So the more you embrace the wrong energy,
yes, the wrong thinking,
yes,
absolutely.
it begins to literally overtake you, and you succumb to that energy.
Yeah, and it can.
That's when it becomes the spirit of fear.
That's when it becomes the spirit of fear. Absolutely. So the spirit of fear, you guys, spirit. Remember the word spirit means alive. Okay, and so it seeks to create mindset or an attitude, okay, or a way of thinking. And a way of thinking, this way of thinking can become extremely destructive to your life. The spirit of fear, I think the number one thing the spirit of fear does, where we can't afford to tolerate it and we must develop strategies to war against it and overcome it.
Yeah.
One thing it does is it blinds you. When you are in that spirit of fear and you are overtaken by the negative thoughts and energy that spirit of fear wants to create, it can, number one, blind you. It can, number one, blind you.
It blinds you from what? It blinds you from...
You can't see clearly.
But also, say now, during this COVID-19,
From opportunities.
during this stay in place, this shelter in place, there are opportunities
galore right now
that you could be embracing, seizing, and taking advantage of.
Yeah.
But you can't see. You are blind to it
The spirit
because
of fear,
of the spirit of fear.
Yeah.
So it blinds you from opportunities and possibilities.
And possibilities. Yeah.
Possibility. You know what? This is not political. My wife and I try as much as possible not to be political because we are also pastors as well. But here's the thing. I do want to say this at the risk of sounding political. President Trump has been so beat up by people saying he's out of his mind, he's crazy, he's not lucid, his thoughts are not lucid. He's talking about reopening the government by May 1st. Listen, that is not what he has been saying. What he has been doing is trying to release hope. He is the leader of the free world.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to release a sense of hope. That's his job as a leader. I would think so.
Yeah, his language is neat.
Now, his language can be doctored on a little bit, but I'm not here to talk about
but
that.
I get the intent, yeah.
But what I'm saying is people have been so overcome.
Yeah.
They don't even realize it.
They won't even let the hope in.
They've been so overcome by this spirit of fear that they take every word out of that man's mouth to be, he's crazy. They can't see the possibility that we will one day come out of this. It may not be by May 1st, but we will one day come out. See possibilities in things.
But the spirit of fear won't let you.
It won't let you. It blinds you.
It blinds you. The spirit of fear almost keeps you from, well, I don't want to go too far. Okay, so number one, it blinds you.
Yeah.
The second thing the spirit of fear seeks to do, remember this spirit, it means this thing is alive, y'all. This thing is alive, okay? It seeks to paralyze you or immobilize you. Right. Petrify you.
Yeah.
To keep you from moving forward. That's how you know really the difference between the emotion of fear and the spirit of fear. Number one is if you're blinded, you can't see possibilities, you can't see opportunities. It won't allow you to do that.
Make you feel stuck.
Makes you feel stuck. And the second one is it immobilizes you, it paralyzes you, it petrifies you. You literally are afraid you won't move forward. It won't
it arrests you.
It arrests you. It arrests you.
It literally arrests you.
So a lot of people like with Pete. So last year, I had a very challenging year. I had a horrific health crisis. It began on an airplane. It manifested itself on
I think it was 2 years ago.
It's been a year and a half.
Yeah.
November of 2018
Right.
is when it started. And then all last year, I have been recovering from it. And I'm at about 90% back to myself. Something I don't know. And so, but anyway, but I know this spirit, this thing is real.
It's very real.
And so all this stuff manifested while we were on a flight. Now I have never in my life been afraid. I've never been afraid to get on a plane. We've traveled. We're world travelers. That's why this is how we're
traveled across the Atlantic Ocean.
International is a common part of what we would do.
Or what we do,
Yeah, we used to do. I haven't in over a year now.
Yeah.
But because of what happened to me on a plane, that spirit of fear, it took me 8 months to get back on an airplane. I had PTSD so bad from that traumatic experience. And I kept reliving it and kept reliving it and kept reliving it. And I'll get to what a spirit does. A spirit talks. So the spirit of fear talks.
It has a voice.
It has a voice. And that thing kept talking to me. It took me 8 months to get back on a plane. 8 months. And then I was, anyway, that was even challenging, okay? And so I was immobilized.
Yeah.
I was immobilized for 8 months. And the last thing the spirit of fear seeks to do is to minimize you. It wants to make your world very small.
Very small.
It wants to make your world very small.
It wants to isolate you.
Isolate you and minimize you and
make you feel like you're on an island by yourself.
Well, it makes your world very small because it decreases. It makes your borders so small. You're too afraid to step outside certain borders. I know I've lived through this.
Yeah.
Okay? And so my world became very, very, very small because I was so afraid that this world traveling.
It was right inside this house.
Couldn't wait to get on a plane and go across.
Now, why is this important?
My world became my home, and my world became the grocery store down the street, and anywhere I could navigate in Charlotte. Eventually, I could at least get on the highways and drive again. But it took 8 months for me to get back on the plane.
I just thought about something as you were talking, because my possibility mindset, my growth mindset, and you have a growth mindset.
Right.
If you have a growth mindset, you know, I don't know when we're coming out of this, but I do know we are going to come out of it.
Absolutely, we are.
We will come out of this. That is the truth of the reality, if I can say it that way.
Absolutely.
So, the reason this is so critical, this conversation you and I are having, I heard this while you were talking, is because this will be over with and people will have the opportunity to come back out of their homes.
Yeah.
The spirit of fear will keep you immobilized even after this is over.
After this is over.
Even after it's safe to go back out.
Right.
And to start interacting with people, go back to church, go back to the malls, go back to work. It will keep you in. I know this is the Holy Spirit because I'm starting to just sense, you know, I'm not talking about sensationalism, but I'm starting to feel goose pimples, because I know when God is talking, and God is talking to someone right now. Let us help you. Let us help you navigate beyond being succumb and overcome the spirit of fear, this negative energy, because we don't want you to be arrested in your home while everyone else is being able to re-engage back into society.
Right, and your world has become so small because you've let emotions of fear grow into a spirit of fear. And so emotions of fear, you need to know how to handle those properly, because if you leave those unchecked, they will grow.
They will grow.
It will grow like those neural pathways in my brain.
And it will seem impossible
got all
to overcome.
Twisted up, okay? Okay? And I've had to go through neurotherapy. It's one of the strategies that we've used to help me come out of the PTSD I experienced because of the breakdown I had on the airplane. That's why I went through the neurotherapy.
Yeah.
Okay, and so because my neural pathways, you could see it on the scan.
Yeah. They
just got all twisted up, and I was trying to renew my thoughts, and
it wasn't as bad as some. She said you actually had a good-looking brain.
She said my brain was beautiful.
Yeah, she said it was beautiful. Yeah.
She said my brain was beautiful, but you could see some of the PTSD where things had gotten crossed up in my brain. And so anyway, I didn't have any idea we were going to be talking about neurotherapy in my brain on this broadcast. But I'm saying this, I'm telling my story to resonate with some of you guys. I'm telling you my story, my very, very human story, about the emotion of fear that can turn into the spirit of fear, and what it seeks to do, because I have lived through it.
Good question by Cozy.
I've lived through it. Genette, who could have helped you? What do you say to people who are experiencing this? What should you not say? Let's see. Who could have helped me when I was experiencing what I went through? I'll tell you what did help me when I experienced what I went through. So I'll tell you how I have overcome the spirit of fear and how I am resisting the spirit of fear as we speak. How I feel I have victory now over the spirit of fear. The first thing I had to do really was understand that, and it was very important for me because I am a woman of faith.
Yeah. Okay?
I am a woman of faith. So, because I am a woman of faith, I went to the scriptures and I understood that God, what I was experiencing, God didn't give it to me.
No, that's exactly right.
What I was experiencing, the source of it was not God.
That's exactly right.
I believe with no doubt, with no confusion in my brain, none whatsoever, God is good. And every good and perfect gift that I experience comes from Him.
That's right.
And so this breakdown that I was having, God wasn't the source of it.
That's right.
Okay? And so this overwhelming fear that I was experiencing that I had never experienced before, that many would call debilitating anxiety, that God wasn't the source of it.
Yeah.
Okay? Now there were some biological sources of it, but spiritually as well. Spiritually, it was a spirit of fear. It was trying to overtake me, immobilize me, overcome my destiny, ruin my destiny. I got all of that, and I got that it didn't come from God. I knew it didn't come from God. I knew it didn't, and so I got understanding of where it was coming from. Where was it coming from? Okay, where was this thing coming from? I began to gain understanding on where it was coming from. Understanding for me, because I'm an intellect, and you're an intellectual too. That's why God knows understanding is so important, because we need to understand things through the frontal lobe of our brain.
That's right.
And so really gaining this kind of understanding is helping you. I promise you it is, because you're wired that way. Understanding always helps you. And so I began to understand where it was coming from. Physiologically, I started understanding where it was coming from. I began to understand my thyroid was all messed up.
It starts to give you a sense of control, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Understanding.
Now the devil can drive me even more crazy, just thinking I'm just crazy. I'm just going to no. I was in hormonal havoc. My lab work showed that my hormones
were out of whack.
It was horrible. She said it was. I thought I had the worst hormonal imbalance she ever seen when I went into my primary care and had my lab work done. And then I also was dealing with adrenal fatigue. Okay, and so all of this had me on this emotional roller coaster of anxiety and insomnia in the level I didn't even know existed. Okay, it felt like a nervous breakdown. All right, and so, but from the spiritual side, the enemy was using it as a spirit of fear. It was just like a spirit of fear, and it did all that I'm saying that the spirit of fear does in a person. It seeks to do. That's what it was seeking to do in me. It absolutely made my world very, very small from going from being an international speaker to it took me 8 months to even get back on a plane. My world became reduced to my house and down the street into the store. Okay, it blinded my future. I couldn't see really a future. I couldn't even think past today. And then the other one, it paralyzed me, completely immobilized me. So that level of understanding I gained. But here's where the shift happened. And I also had therapy, talking it out. I had some past traumas from my childhood that the enemy was
it is okay to see a therapist.
I saw a therapist, absolutely.
And I'm saying that for a lot of Christians that are on the phone, because sometimes we get off into what we call hyper faith, where we think that it's not faith to see a therapist. No, it's absolutely relevant.
You are a spirit, but you also have a mind, you have a body, okay?
Absolutely.
And all three have to be addressed in any crisis.
This is a good segue into, as we conclude.
But I want to shift to the conclusion. I think this is going to conclude. Then we're going to take some more questions from you guys.
Absolutely.
The conclusion was, this is the shift for me now. I don't think about the spirit of fear.
There you go.
I don't sit around focusing on the spirit of fear. The spirit of fear. I did that for a year.
There you go.
I was afraid of being afraid.
Yeah.
Because the spirit of fear had me afraid. I was afraid of being afraid. I was afraid of the feeling. I was afraid. What shifted for me is I stopped shifting from that part where God didn't give me the spirit of fear. I started focusing on what God did give me.
That's good.
Paul told Timothy, God has not given you the spirit of fear.
That's right.
That didn't come from God. What did God give you? He gave you power, love, and a sound mind.
I've heard that scripture quoted different. Some people start with love.
But it's power.
But it actually says power.
Yeah.
Love and a sound
mind. And so I started focusing on who I was.
So the first thing you got to recognize is
what I had.
I've been empowered.
I have power.
I have power.
I'm a powerful being created in the
I'm not a
image of
pawn
God.
to this field.
I'm not a pawn to this field.
I've been empowered.
I'm not a pawn to this feeling.
Type that in the comment section. I am not a slave to my emotion.
Yeah, I am not a slave to my emotions. I have the power.
I have the power.
So yes, you can feel fear and you can feel it intensely. But if the enemy wants you to forget, I got the power.
I got the power.
I got the power.
The power is in me.
The power is in me. I have power over this feeling.
I have power over this feeling.
I have power over this. I can shift this. I can change this. I have power over this.
I have power.
I took up my power, realized I got the power.
You took your power back.
I took my power back.
Ooh, that's good.
I refused to let it go. That's why I say I don't play with the spirit of fear.
Yeah.
And I And the reason I can't sit up and watch movies like
Contagion.
and I can't sit
Because
up
you
and
took
just
your
watch
power back.
and watch the news.
And you're not going to give it back over again.
I don't play with that kind of stuff. I don't even play with the emotion of fear.
And here is why that's so important. Because whatever you give your focus to
Yes.
enlarges. It increases. Whatever you starve decreases. So
Yeah.
I like to say it this way: feed your faith, starve your fear.
Right.
Because whatever you feed or focus, it enlarges.
Yeah.
Whatever you starve or don't focus, give your focus to, it literally diminishes.
It will diminish. It will diminish. So I be like, wait a minute, I got power. It's like all of a sudden the light bulbs came on. I have power.
I have power. Yeah.
I'm in power. And so I took the power back when it came to my health.
Take the power
I
back.
took all my power back.
Take the power back.
All right, whatever jack my health up, but I'm taking my power
Take my
back.
power back.
I have the power. Jesus said I have the power to lay my life down. I have the
Pick it
power
up back
to
up
pick it
again.
back up again.
My.
And so I went through some crazy stuff last year, but I took my power back. And so I took my power back in terms of getting my body working back, getting my health back, and I keep that power. I'm a health, pretty much a health nut.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my family knows. I'm very.
She keeps us healthy.
I keep everybody healthy because that's me keeping my power.
Yeah, absolutely.
I watch what goes into my ears. I watch what I read. I watch what I look at. I don't deal with the whole...
Very intentional.
Very intentionally, because that's me keeping my power.
Keep your power.
That's me keeping my power.
And that's why I started out at the very beginning. If you'll notice, I said this is critical. You must understand yourself.
You must understand yourself. Everybody hadn't had an experience like I had.
Right.
You know, everybody's body hadn't been through what my body has.
Let's get to these last two because we're quickly running out of time.
Yes, sir.
And we want to capture some Q&A as well.
Yeah.
This is equally as powerful. Mm-hmm. Love.
Oh, God. Oh,
I am loved.
I am loved. I am loved, and I am love.
Yeah. Ooh, I am love.
Yes,
I am love because love lives in me.
I am love.
I am love. God lives in me.
Right.
I live in God. So I am love. God is love. If God is love, then that means I'm love.
You got it, brother. So I am love. That literally, so my identity, you guys, I'm just letting you in on my secret meditations of my heart that are helping me to overcome.
I am power.
I am power.
I am love.
I am love. I am a sound mind.
Woo!
I don't just have a
That's
sound mind.
so good.
I am one.
The Amplified Classic translates sound mind, the phrase sound mind, as I am of calm and well-balanced mind and discipline and self-control.
Can you guys just type in the comments section, make this your declaration? I am love, period.
Yes.
No, I am power first.
I am power.
I am power. I am love. I am a sound mind.
I am a sound mind.
I am.
That means I'm calm, I'm well balanced, I am self-disciplined, and I have self-control.
That's who you are. The enemy wants to make you feel like every time you feel you are not your emotions. Okay? And you can be all on an emotional roller coaster for many reasons.
That's important to repeat. You are not your emotions.
You are not your emotions. You are power.
You are power.
You are love.
You are love.
You are a sound mind.
You are a sound mind.
Yeah.
You want to take some Q&A?
Yeah, let's take
so we're right at
some Q&A. We're right
here.
at our time here. Any questions? Thank you for asking me that, Cozy. Cozy, you're one of my favorite people on the earth. You may not know that, but you are.
And mine too, Cozy, and I think you know why.
He talks about you all the time. Yeah. He talks about his personal coach all the time and how you helped him.
You coached me through a hard time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, you are. You are. I see you guys making your comments.
Yes, you are. Make those declarations.
I am
Make
love.
those declarations.
I am a sound mind.
Yeah.
You know, I have tears welling up in my eyes because I have shared things on this broadcast that I did not intend to share. Of extremely personal things.
Because of her big mouth husband.
It's okay. I needed to share it. Very deeply personal. things that I went through last year. Some of it it was just horrible. It was just horrible. It was. I went to hell and came back.
Maybe we'll devote a future episode.
Look, Jesus went to hell. Jesus said
Jesus went to hell and came back with the keys.
He came back with the keys. I got the keys. I don't know if I got the keys.
Uh-oh, y'all. Y'all know what's getting ready to happen.
I'm about to go too far.
Hey, let's take some Q&A real quick. Any questions for Genette and myself? We've been on 45 minutes now, and
you guys been hanging in there with us. But,
you guys have been hanging in there with us.
We kind of wanted this to be about 30 minutes or so, but if you guys have any questions,
any questions for
concerns,
us, anything we can pray with you about.
Yeah.
Anything we can pray with you about. I see my good friend Pastor Cornelius is on. Hey, Pastor C from Florida. Our dear friend and mentor, Cozy Dixon, she's on. And we see you, Stephanie Spivey. Hope Eric is doing well. Please give him our love. Kirk Freeman. Oh, yes. Kirk is on. And from Little Rock there. Angela from Detroit. Angela, hope you and your family are doing well up there in Michigan. And Andrea. Okay, right. Any questions?
So you are helping us who are dealing with hormonal changes, and it's not doing
something to cause it.
Something to
cause it. You're not doing something to bring it upon yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
you're just going through hormonal changes.
If you're feeling an inordinate amount of fear. So like before COVID started, people were already dealing with anxiety. Before COVID started, people were already, anxiety was like the number one, 40% of America, no, I think they say 40% of people over the world now report having anxiety, and some of them to the point of needing medication, meaning it has affected their life, to where they need medication for it. And so anxiety is not something that's just new with COVID.
No, it's not.
Anxiety was already existing. And so now if you're already struggling with spirit of fear, which really, if you need medication for anxiety, it's probably what you're dealing with. Now you imagine that now you put this multiplying effect of a world that's in tribulation on top of it. I can only imagine the intensity of the anxiety and the fear. And my husband, right now, he can't identify a whole lot. I'll be honest with you, because this is Superman. Y'all see what I call him?
I am not Superman.
But in my eyes, I tell him all the time.
I am human.
When I was really struggling, I would tell him, there's a part of me that envies you. Because you're so courageous. Nothing.
Well, I have to be the way I am so we could be one.
That's true, because I was so weak.
So we could be one, because we are one.
And I used to be his sidekick. We used to be swinging through the jungle together. And now Jane all scared. Jane too scared to leave the house.
Yeah.
And Tarzan out there by himself.
Sorry about that, Angela. Lansing, Michigan. Yeah, Lansing.
Michigan, yeah.
Lansing. Angela asks, what have been some of your special challenges dealing with the quarantining? So what have been some of our special challenges? My
world has not changed a whole lot. So before the quarantining, I was just...
You really was already quarantined a little bit.
I've been on a sabbatical for over a year, and so I was just starting to travel a little bit, looking forward to getting out of the house. But for almost a year, I've been pretty much at home.
We have put her birthday trip to Maui on hold.
Yeah, I had a trip to Maui, Hawaii. Couldn't even go.
Yeah, but we will.
But, and so my world had already become small. And I had already, because I had been recovering, on a sabbatical, not a whole lot has changed, except now I want to go somewhere and can't. But I'm used to staying around the house. I'm used to working from home. I'm not used to wearing masks and gloves. Yeah. What has changed for us, we always have worked from home since we've lived in Charlotte, because, we don't have an office outside of our home.
But not with our kids being here all day long.
Kids being here, it's like a perpetual summer.
Yeah. our third oldest is home from college.
Yeah.
So that, if anything, that has been a little challenging.
Can I have just a real transparent moment?
Absolutely.
I can feel a little stress between us.
Yeah.
You know, because this situation's been a little stressful.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, so I can feel, and he's coping in his way. Mm-hmm. You know, my husband copes.
Men cope in different ways.
He copes in his way, and I'm coping in my way. And so you can kind of, you know, feel a little strain, which we've been married long enough to know is just...
We know how to work through it. We know how to give each other space.
We know it's...
We got a big enough house. She goes upstairs. I go downstairs. I go upstairs. She go downstairs, and then we come back together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
learn to do that, couples.
Yeah, I can feel the little less strained energy there.
Yeah.
That's a little bit different. Because of what we do as pastors.
Yeah.
We're spiritual. So
that's added stress. We get text almost every other day. Somebody died. Pray that somebody's sick. Somebody just tested positive for COVID-19.
Yeah.
And so our emotions, we're on a emotional roller coaster
with other people.
With other people.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily with our own family, thank God.
Yeah.
So yeah. And here's something that I really thought about as you were saying that. I think, Angela, and we're going to bring this to an end because I know we've spent far too long on this broadcast with you all, even though we all seem to be enjoying it.
Yeah.
Here's what I was thinking about as you were talking is I think it's all about what you focus on, Angela. It's only as challenging as you make it. So if you focus on this is such a challenge, so we could really make that a big thing about our kids being at home and how they're eating up all the food. That could really start to bother us, and we could really allow that to create some type of inordinate response that doesn't even measure up to what's happening.
Yeah.
So don't focus on the non-essentials. Be glad to have your children at home. Thank God I got children to eat up food. I got healthy children. They got appetites. If they didn't have appetites, I would be concerned. So I think it's all about...
And I'm so grateful. We've got 4 of our daughters.
We got 2 grown daughters.
2 grown daughters. I'm so grateful that we can feed them.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm grateful that they can open up the refrigerator and there's food in there for them to eat, and there's healthy food for them to eat. And
I'm grateful that we got enough space that our grown daughters, when they're feeling insecure and they want to come hang around their mom and dad, they can come spend the night, and they have been doing it.
Yeah, even though that's against the rules.
Even though that's against the rules, but we make them wash up and do all that good stuff.
Daddy is not. I don't care what's out. My daughters can come over whenever they want to.
But no, we do practice safety though.
Yeah.
Okay, you all, we got to bring this to an end. This has been wonderful. Can you believe this is
our first
episode?
Yay!
Faith, Family, and the Future with Dexter and Genette Howard. Help us to spread the word, you all. We'll be right with you again, same day, same time next week at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And we're going to be talking about how to stay in faith when you feel afraid.
That's what we talked about today.
Okay. Boy, I said that like I knew what I was talking about.
That's what we talked about today.
No, what are we going to be talking about next week?
What I think I would like to talk about is life after COVID.
Oh, yeah,
because
that's right.
Guys,
that's right.
COVID won't last forever. This is passing.
We kind of got into that a little bit today.
Yeah, and so we're going to talk about life after COVID. Yeah. I've been meditating.
I got that in my notes. It was just at the bottom of my notes.
life after COVID.
Life after COVID.
If you haven't thought about
establishing a new normal.
Establishing a new normal. And that might be what I teach on this Sunday.
Hey, listen, go ahead and share this with everybody you know. We're going to upload this to YouTube as well. You can go back and watch the archive of it.
I hope you'll subscribe to our new YouTube channel, Howard International.
Please. We're going to fill it up with content.
Yeah, okay. But you'll be hearing more from us on this platform, Howard International. Thank you so much.
There's more to come from Dexter and Genette Howard. Love you all.
Thank you so much for watching, for tuning in. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.